It's time for opening this week, brought to you by our friends over at AMC Theaters. We have something coming out this week that nobody really knew what the hell it was. Natasha, tell us a little bit about what's coming out.
All right, coming out this week is Cloverfield Lane. A woman played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead discovers the horrifying truth about the outside world while living in an underground shelter with two men played by John Goodman and John Gallagher Jr. The movie is written by Josh Campbell, Matthew Stuecken, and Damien Chazelle, and is directed by Dan Trachtenberg.
All right, it's 10 Cloverfield Lane. Comes out this weekend. Mark and I actually saw this movie last night. We'll give you a little bit about what we thought. David, you have not seen this movie yet. Can you tell us a little bit about, what if you're excited to see this movie at all, what you know about this movie? Just give us a little bit of insight as far as if people should see this movie.
Yeah, look, I'm incredibly excited to see it. The fact that I know little about it is really what I love. And we live in a world now where the trailers, give away almost 90% of the plot. And this is sort of JJ's machine, at its best, where he's able to protect something and keep it off the radar for this long. And then with a sort of a 3-week ramp up, right, all of a sudden there's this PR machine that kicks in and everybody wants to see it. And that's pretty exciting, as opposed to the 7-month rollout, right, where by the time it comes out, you've seen pretty much every iteration of the movie. So this is exciting to me. I like the cast. I think John Goodman is always fantastic. I'll see anything with him. Mary Elizabeth, I think, is fantastic. And the premise, I like this idea of sort of like people trapped in a single environment and you don't know what's going on, and there's that sense of paranoia and hysteria, and to me, that kind of thing of just not having any sense of other than they're in this situation and I don't know where it goes. That's what I want to be. I want to be in that kind of movie on a Friday night, and that's happening less and less now, where I can go in there and just know nothing about a movie,
Right.
So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to see it, and the reviews are pretty strong so far.
And Mark, we saw it last night. What do you think? Should people go and check this out?
Yeah, I look forward to Gambino's text after he sees it, because this is a movie that, depending on your viewpoint, you might say that it devolves or that it evolves. I myself loved, like you said, David, that we didn't know much about it, and that's rare enough for a movie in general, particularly when the movie is piggybacking off of a huge movie that came out a few years ago. I mean, it's not a sequel. J.J. Abrams called it a blood relative to the other Cloverfield, and when you see the film, we're not going to give away anything, so don't worry, but it's really, it felt like a Twilight Zone. Even from watching the trailer, it feels like they're in that Dharma Initiative hatch from Lost, and it's like, okay, are we supposed to be in this thing? Should we be outside? Are we being kidnapped? Are we being held prisoner here, or are we being protected? I love the way that it asks those questions. I love the twists and the turns. There's a lot of them that this movie takes, so yeah, I think it's definitely something you should pay money to see.
Yeah, it's funny because Matt Goldberg, writer on Collider.com, was writing about how critics sometimes it's tough to review a movie right after you see it. It's something we have to do, or whether you're writing about it or talking about it on camera, you have to do something kind of quick. But he thought one of the things that is disservice is that you have to, it doesn't give you enough time to marinate on it, and that's funny because last night I was watching the movie going, yeah, it's kind of, I was expecting something different, and it's really slow for the most part, and that was fine because the acting's really good, and John Goodman crushes it, as all the actors do. And I was like, I wanted it to go in this direction, but it went this way, and I felt like the end was a little shoehorned. But I started thinking about it more, and I'm like, I think I enjoyed this more than I thought that I did, because I was like, well, I really was invested in the movie, and it's a very well done film for a guy who, his first feature film, I believe, he did the Portal film, and that's how JJ had found him. To watch this guy do that and work with these actors, it's a really good effort. So I think that people will enjoy this movie, but I don't think it's a spoiler, but you should know that don't go in expecting a prequel or a direct sequel to Cloverfield. That's the reason why you're going to continue that storyline, because it really is like a standalone cousin. Like he said, like a deep cousin or relative. It's like as much if you and Natasha went to high school with each other, you're like, oh, she's my cousin.